Hey class, welcome back. 2-4, this is Monday's assignment in class, writing the equation of a line. Still nothing new. Next section will be though. This is a review of algebra, but it's more intense. There's 13 slides. I do recommend taking down most of the slides. You said that in your journal that you wrote to me on your test, that the majority of you would like more examples, so that's what I tried to do. I did 4 different ways of writing the equation of a line, and then I did at least 1 to 2 examples on each one. And 12 slides, so not that many. Alright, just to review, slope-intercept form. Reminder is y equals mx plus b. M represents slope, rise over run, or the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Or you could say what you guys did, the rate of change, same thing. And B represents the y-intercept, where it crosses that y-axis at. Alright, so here we go. We're going to have problems which say name the slope and y-intercept of each equation. Well, here we have y equals negative 4x plus 3. It is in the format of m equals negative 4, b equals 3. So negative 4 was your slope, 3 was your y-intercept. Here's another one. Kind of wrote it differently. Wrote it a little different, but still, m is above the x, so in this case it is negative 1/2 x, and b is still your constant, which is 5. So that is your slope-intercept form. Pretty easy so far, huh? What about this one? Now it's not written in the y equals mx plus b format, is it? So you need to rewrite it. Well, how are you going to rewrite it? Move 8x to the other side. It's being added, so subtract it. When that happens, we have y equals negative 8x minus 3/4. So negative 8 is my slope, and negative 3/4 is my y-intercept. After that, I have 4x minus 2y equals 10. How about this one? What do you have to do to get y alone? Yep, subtract 4x from both sides. Again, 10 and 4x are not like terms, so you can't combine them. Just rewrite it. 2y equals, you can say 10 minus 4x, or you could say negative 4x plus 10. Either way, still y is not alone yet. It has a negative 2 being multiplied to it. So how do you undo multiplication? You divide. So we have y equals 2x minus 5. So what is your slope? 2. What is your y-intercept? Negative 5. What about this one? It doesn't have a constant. So what would my y-intercept be? My slope is 1/3. What about with the y-intercept? Well, imagine there's a plus 0 here. Would you see a plus 0? No, because you never write it, right? But you could. You could rewrite it as, say, 1/3 x plus 0. Therefore, 0 would be your y-intercepts. And last but not least, y equals 5. Rewrite it in the form of y equals mx plus b. You would have y equals 0x plus 5. Because 0 times x is 0, so we wouldn't write that. So 0 is your slope, 5 is your y-intercept. Good examples to copy down. I strongly suggest these last 4, just because these first 2 are probably easy, self-explanatory, but these last 4 you might get confused on. Alrighty, so writing the equation of a given line 4 ways. Slope and y-intercept, that's what we're given. Put it into y equals mx plus b. If we were given a graph, write an equation. If we were giving a slope and a 1 point, give an equation. Or if we were giving 2 points, how do we write the equation? So we're going to go over those 4 scenarios. The first one is the easiest. Find the equation of a line given the slope and y-intercept. So we substitute the m and b into y equals mx plus b. Pretty easy, yeah. So m equals negative 3, b equals 1. So like we did on just the problems a little bit ago, negative 3 goes into m, and 1 goes into b. So we have that, and we'd have y equals negative 3x plus 1. You guys remember that from algebra? If not, I suggest writing them down. Here's another example. What would it be? If you said y equals negative 2x minus 4, you have it correct. How about this one? A little bit trickier. Do you remember this from the last slide? Yeah, you'd put 0 in for x. And so what's 0 times x? 0. So it'd just be y equals 10. And this one, if I have m equals 1 and b equals 0, y equals x over here. And last but not least, what if I had m equals 0 and b equals 0? So if you plugged 0 in for both m and x, or b, I'm sorry, what would you have left? Yeah, you'd have nothing. So you'd have 0 over here. Y equals 0. That would be your equation. All right, so that's your first part of your assignment. Second part, finding the equation of a line given the graph. How'd you do that? This to me is the easiest other than the first one because you can find the y-intercept from the graph. You count the slope from the graph, which is, remember, rise over run. And then you write the equation of the line, substituting slope in the y-intercept in the slope-intercept form. So here's an example. Well, first step, y-intercept. So what is our y-intercept in this problem? Right here, it crosses it right there. That would be at 1, 2, 3. Is that positive 3 or negative 3? It's a negative 3. So what is my slope? Well, I already have the teal lines on here. I rose up 3 and I ran over 2. Rise over run. So use those two numbers and sub it into your equation. Y equals 3 over 2x minus 3. Bam! That's it. Here it is in this format. I recommend writing this down. If you don't remember doing this in algebra, write it down because you can use it on your test. Here's another one. All right, look at it. What is your y-intercept? You always start with your y-intercept. Yeah, it's at 1, so b equals 1. What is your slope? Okay, you go up 1 this time, but then you go to your left to negative 2. So it's negative 1 over 2. Substitute b and m in, and you have y equals negative 1x plus 1. Bam! I just love these. These are easy. Last example. Giving you a horizontal line. All right, well, you know your y-intercept is at what? B equals, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty simple. What about my slope? Well, I don't have any rise, do I? No, so that's a 0. And I can run over, I don't know, let's run over 1. But you can run over continuously. It doesn't really matter what your number is because any number, or 0 divided by any number is just 0. So what would your equation look like? Well, y equals 0x plus 4. In reality, 0x is 0, so 0 plus 4 is 4. That'd be your equation. These are probably the hardest to grasp. I recommend writing it down, think about it, revisit the slide if you don't get it. Alright, and moving on. So we got those first two. We given y, or given m and b. We're given a graph, so we had to find m and b. And now I'm going to say find the equation of a line given the point and the slope. So I'm still using point-slope formula, or I'm using point-slope formula, which is, this might be new to you. You used it in algebra probably, but maybe not all teachers used it. Write it down. Write this down. And this is your point-slope formula. This is when you know m, but you don't know what b is. Okay? So we need to find b. Here we go. xy is given. Substitute m and x1, y1 into a formula, and we would solve for b. So write the equation of a line with the slopes equal negative 2 passing through points 3, negative 5. Substitute m and x1, y1, because these were the points I was given, so that's why I call this x1, y1, and this was m up here. So do you remember that point-slope formula that you just wrote down? Here it is. I put it all in once, but I don't like that. Let me rewrite this. So I had y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, so let me get a different color here. We had x1, y1, and m, correct? Awesome. So substitute what we know. Well, we know y1 was a negative 5 equals, and we know m was a negative 2 times x minus 3. And two negatives make a what? A big old plus sign. Alright, so we have y equal, ooh, just kidding. Oh, come on, eraser. Oh, it's not erasing. Hold on. Gotta erase. Doesn't want to work. There we go. Time out. Time back in. Alright, y plus 5 equals, distribute, negative 2x plus 6. You guys struggled with that on your test. Reminder, negative times a negative, if it's positive, if you need me to sing to you, I will. Alright, so minus 5, minus 5. So now I have y equals a negative 2x plus 1. Here is your equation in slope-intercept form. If I was to say, hey, what's b? What's your y-intercept? You could say, bam, it's 1 right there. You betcha. Reminder, point-slope formula, if you know 1 point and 1 slope. Alright, let's do last example. Find the equation of a line giving 2 points. So you don't know what b is, you don't know what m is, they just give you 2 points. So before you can even use point-slope formula, that y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, you have to find slope. Slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. See how we're putting this all together? Use one of the points and the point in the slope to substitute into point-slope formula. Ta-da! Gonna be using it all. This is for big wig problems. Here we go. 2 examples. I think there's 2. Maybe there's just 1. Write the equation of a line that goes through points 3, 2, and 5, 4. So I'm going to write this, and then it'll erase, and then the computer will write it. So you can either write what I'm writing or the computer. It'll be the same thing. Here we go. We have x1, y1, x2, y2. In order to put it into this format, you need to know what b is, and you need to know what m is. So how can I solve for m? Well, that's easy. You can use the formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus, that's an x, that's an x, x1 equals, alright, well let's substitute. y2 is 4 minus 2. x2 is 5 minus, so 5 minus 3. Well, what's 4 minus 2? 2. What's 5 minus 3? 2. Simplify that. 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Alright, so now we know what m is. Now, how do I find b? We'll go back to that last example. What did you use when you had slope and at least 1 point? Yeah, point-slope formula. Reminder, point-slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x1, or times x, sorry, I need my eraser, time out, time back in, minus x1. That's what you use when you have your slope and at least 1 point. So I'm using these points because I already labeled them x1, y1. You could have used this one and you're going to get the same one. I'll probably show you how you can use that one and get the same equation. So I have y minus 2 equals, m in this case was 1, parentheses, x minus 3. So I have y minus 2 equals, if you distribute, yeah, that just stays x minus 3. Add 2 to both sides. So you have y equals x minus 1. Ba-boom! There's your formula in slope format. Stuttering, sorry. In y equals mx plus b format, slope-intercept form. What if you said, but Miss Bradford, I wanted to use these points? I would say go right ahead. You should get the same answer. Let's see, I'm still using, let's call it y minus y2 equals m times x minus x2. So I would have y minus 4 equals 1 because remember, my slope up here was 1, times x minus 5. Well, what would you get? Y minus 4 equals, distribute, x minus 5. Solve for y, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. I have y equals x minus 1. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Did we come up with the same answer? You betcha. So it doesn't matter which points you use. No, as long as you use the same group. So you use this format when you were given 2 points. You had to figure out your slope, then you had to use their point-slope format, which was this equation, to get your slope-intercept form. Point-slope, slope-intercept form. Alright, so if I erase this is the computer's beautiful way of writing it. Unfortunately, my handwriting doesn't look that big. If you need to, stop, go back, rewrite, because there's a lot. There's 4 of them. Write an equation giving m and b. Write an equation giving a graph. So you'd have to look for your y-intercept, and then you'd have to figure out your rise over your run. Write an equation if I was to give you a slope and 1 point, so you would use that point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And your last one is write an equation giving 2 points. So if you're given 2 points, you have to figure out your slope, which is m1 minus m2, or m1, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And then after you find your m, use one of those points to put into the point slope form. Alright, so page 87, 8 through 24 all. We're going to be doing this on Monday. You can go ahead, start it today if you want. Use Monday for a study hall. If you get this done, I'll have the answer key up there ready for you guys to check. If you need help in class, awesome. That's what I'm here for. But you need to have your notes down. There's lots of examples in here for you to copy down, as well as you get to use those notes in your test. You will have equations that have decimals and fractions. That is okay. We're in Algebra 2. Decimals and fractions are our friends. Alrighty, we are done. See you guys.